Hello, guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Devin, and today we're giving honest takes on things happening in Jamaica. If you like this content, please like, share, and subscribe, and comment, and let me know what else you want me to comment on. All right? I can't understand this case. I can't understand this case. Not because it's a very complex case. Well, it is, but because when I look at this case, I am getting more questions than answers. And I don't understand why I'm getting more questions than answers. Because if you learn more stuff, you're supposed to be crossing off things. But it's like the more you learn, the more you question everything you actually did learn about this case. My number one question, ladies and gentlemen, my number one question is this. How is it that a 42-year-old woman, 42, dropping dead in her sleep was somehow accepted as a cause of death? I don't understand. We went weeks, remember she was declared dead, transferred to funeral home, and they were getting ready to say their goodbyes. But dropping dead in her sleep at 42, what killed her? She wasn't diagnosed. I don't know her medical history, but as far as I've heard, I've not heard anything about any heart attacks, any kind of cancer, nothing like that. So how's a 42-year-old woman dropping dead in her sleep somehow not be something that you would just be like, whoa, hold on, what's going on here? Granted, ladies and gentlemen, granted, I understand that it was told that she was naked by the whoever was there, and therefore he could not investigate any further. But that was just crazy. So now we have a case where we have the five main things about a case. That is the who, the what, the when, the why, and the how. Ladies and gentlemen, we know two things: the what and the when. Arguably the two easiest things. Everything else is harder, right? But the three things that we have to focus on, if we look at this case and find out exactly what is happening, is essentially the who, the what, the who, the how, and the why. Let's talk about the who. We already have a who, right? We have a who. No, that's assumptions, right? A person is in front of the court, he will have to deal with it with his own legal team. But we have a who, but it's not the who. And I'm pretty sure everybody is understand that it's not a one-man show. One man could not have done the killing, did the cover-up, and everything else that came after. Now, I'm not saying it's a husband. Don't put my name in anything. Okay? I am saying that there was some implication of somebody and people doing things. But we need to find out the who's. And I think that's a bigger part of the question, because let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen. The police officer, you don't get way. But you might get way. Let me explain. Postmortems are supposed to be ordered when the death is sudden and the death is violent. That's mandatory. It's supposed to be mandatory in Jamaica. Meaning that if you suddenly drop dead, you're not just going to carry to a funeral home and say goodbye. No, people are going to say, what's the cause of death? Right? If you died on the freeway, if you died on the street, people are going to look at your body and say, okay, car crash. Okay? Gunshot wounds, people can see it. But if you just suddenly drop dead in your sleep, you think nobody's going to ask a postmortem. You have to have a postmortem because we need a cause of death. It needs to be on your birth certificate. You need on your certificate, sorry. So we need to have that. So the police officer saying, hey, we need to have a postmortem, was just him doing his job. It wasn't him going above and beyond. It was him doing his job. Because there's no way you could see a 42-year-old woman dying suddenly in her sleep as anything that you could say, yeah, that just happens. Yeah, I just a regular Wednesday. It's a regular Thursday. You understand? These things need to be investigated. But the who is even deeper, because prosecutors are looking, and I think they are right, to look at, I said, cyber, and they're looking at telephone records, and they're looking at every other thing in the ballistics. Why? Because they need to know if it's just simply murder or it's something like the Paulwell case. Remember Paulwell's case, was a crime of passion between two baby mothers. But essentially it was not only just murder, but conspiracy to murder. So that is what's gonna need to happen. But here's the funny thing about that. There's something that needs to happen before we get to the actual who, and it's a how and the why. And the why is more important because here's the thing, right? If we're gonna talk about the conspiracy and the murder and all those things, we have to understand that the why, we don't know a why for this. We don't have a reason. People have said it's for money. People have said it was a crime of passion. Maybe he just never like her. Maybe there was a divorce. Maybe it could have been a thousand things. We don't know. I'm not saying it's him. I'm saying that we don't have a why. Why would a 42-year-old big executive of Petrojam, a big chemist, or I think she was a chemist, I'm uncertain. But why would a successful woman in her 40s just suddenly be killed like this? We have to ask these questions. So we don't know that why. And the how is a bigger question too. Because here's the thing, right? They're looking at a specific person that was called to clean up the apartment after the death, right? Or the house, sorry, to clean up the room where the murder, assumed to be murder, took place. That person has now given statements to say, listen, based on the photographs that you're presenting to me as the prosecutors, as the police, that is not what I saw when I was there. That has now led prosecutors to believe that the entire crime scene tampered with. And that, my friend, is a potential charge. An easy potential charge. Potential is tampering with evidence, tampering with a crime scene. There are a number of things. Police full of criminal charges so they can dash upon people. But that's not the point, ladies and gentlemen, right? So there's plenty of charges to go around. Whether it be conspiracy, whether it be something else. It could be that they have the wrong person. Who knows? I'm not making an assumption on anybody. But I am saying this case is problematic. This case don't make no sense, right? And it would be unfair for me to say that this case is not deep. It's very deep. There's a lot of people involved. You don't get to a point where there's a oops, wrong cause of death 3 weeks into the death. You don't get that. You might get it on the night, on the day after, but you don't go 3 weeks into oh yeah, a person died. Oh, sorry, you don't see them dead for the wrong thing. No, 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 no. That's for like if a heart attack kill them and a really COVID. That's not for they died in their sleep. Oh, sorry, 3 gunshot wounds. So there needs to be somebody held accountable for this. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a simple case. But here's the problem that I also have, right? It's going to be very hard for prosecutors to charge other people and to make this case bigger than what it is right now, right? Because prosecutors need two things. They need a theory and they need evidence. They have evidence. They have photographs that don't look to make sense. They have a whole bunch of witness statements. But here's the thing. The crime scene already gone. The place is retiled, new furniture, paint is already overdone on the walls. So at this point, prosecutors are going to be very, short-handed to find any way to prosecute this case outside of where it is, unless they get some new evidence, state or crown witnesses. So this case is going to revolve around a lot of persons flipping and giving statements to jeopardize Mr. Silvera. But this case is a very tricky case. I don't know where this case is going to go. I know that it's going to go in front of the Supreme Court, courts in the country, circuit court, and they're going to determine exactly how to proceed with this. But I think this is a very big case. I think there's a lot of persons more involved. I think that the why is going to be very important with how they nail this, because to this day, people don't know exactly why this happened. I think a lot of persons have made assumptions, but then again, people have made assumptions about where she was shot, and all these things. So people are going to make assumptions. But until we get more evidence, we don't really know what happened, right? And I think this is gonna end up to be a very wide case, even wider than the case about Palwell, and that was a big case. But I think they're gonna look at a lot of evidence, a lot of communication was taking place. I think they're gonna take some phones. They're gonna look through the phones. They're gonna look at text messages, the emails. That's how you build a case, you know. You're gonna have to look at the emails, the texts that he will be sending, who he called, who he talked to, what did they say, what messages do they have, who came to the crime scenes. A lot of people came. I heard one person came to clean, other people came to tile the place, other people came to remove furniture, persons came to take pictures. The persons who take pictures saw spent shell casings. So this means that they did see evidence of the gun being fired, and the fact that this gun belonged to Mr. Silvera, but Mr. Silvera did not admit that the gun was fired. He would have said that she died in her sleep. So now the question is, if he's not guilty, you know, then who is? You know? So it's not even a matter of saying who is guilty. If it's not him, then who? Because it's tied to your gun, and you did not declare that the gun was being fired. It'd have been a lot easier if he had said somebody jump in the window, take up the gun, and shoot his wife, unfortunately. But that did not take place. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a case of speak too soon, you have to dig your own grave. Um, and not literally, right? So, as I'm saying, I think this case is gonna go far. But as I said, I have more questions than answers. I have way more questions than answers, because this case was done badly, badly bad, and this is worse than the normal bad. Not the police enough time watch cases, but this is very badly done, right? Um, but let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know your opinions, and see you for the next video. Bye.